features the visiting Chargers of Timber Creek and the Burlington Township Falcons. Now let's meet today's participants. Up first are the Timber Creek Chargers.
Make sure he's all right.
A 5'11" senior number 12 or number 2, Eric Benjamin. 5'11" senior number 3, Jalen Bergen. 6'3" senior number 11, Justin Bladen. 6'5" junior number 20, Austin Green. And a 6'5" senior number 32, Demetrius Payne.
Painter.
Let's meet Burlington Township Falcons and their coach.
Jalen
Bergen.
Oh, right.
Live here from Holy Spirit High School, the SEAGULL Classic. Nick Costco alongside Mike Frankel, ready for this next matchup here at Holy Spirit between Timber Creek and Burlington Township. 3 games to go, and of course coming up in a little bit, you can catch St. Augustine Prep against the Patrick School, and concluded tonight Holy Spirit and Pleasantville in the marquee matchup of the evening. Just about ready to get underway here as Burlington Township will be wearing the all whites today with the gold trim, gold numerals and numbers. And of course the black trim. Well, Timber Creek Chargers coming out in their all blue uniforms with the silver numbers and white trim.
Should be an interesting matchup, Nick. Timber Creek 6-0, and they've played a tough schedule. You know, relatively tough to this point. Burlington Township 2-3 coming in, but again, another tough schedule. So it should be a pretty even clash, at least on paper, going in.
Green with the tip for the Chargers, and they will start with the ball here as Bergen will cross the timeline. We are underway here. This is Benjamin, long range three to open things up. That is no good. Rebounded there by Thomas. Daniel Thomas, one of the stars looking at Burlington Township. Nice pass inside for the layup there for Johnson, and this bucket is not going to count. Be an offensive foul and an early turnover at 10 seconds into the ball game here. And the Chargers will take over. We're still tied at 0 as we open things up. That one picked away. Now a chance for Burlington Township. Driving in and goes Thomas. Cannot convert the layup. Good rebound there by the Chargers. Back comes Bergen. Bergen into the corner. Cross court again. 3-point attempt on the way. No good. It'll be rebounded here by Burlington Township. The drive, we got contact, and it'll be another offensive foul. That one on Josiah Scarlett. Tried to draw it. Beg your pardon, that is a defensive foul, and Scarlett is going to go to the line. They're going to say he was fouled in the act of shooting, so 40 seconds gone, and Scarlett will be shooting 2 from the line.
Yeah, I think they're going to count the bucket as well, Nick. There was a little bit of confusion, and they just put the points up on the board, but you know, regardless, you're seeing early on both of these teams like to get up and down. Both come out in a zone, so those open shots, those perimeter shots are really going to be there. And also both teams like to run off of misses.
Scarlett cannot convert the 3-point play. They do count the bucket, and now the scoreboard says 4-0. We're going to clarify that as well.
I think they did count the bucket from earlier on, that the whistle came right after. I think the whistle was for to run some time off the clock. The clock was frozen at that moment, but
right now, we're going to travel there on Bladen for Timber Creek. So another turnover. So we do officially have 4-0 in favor of Burlington Township after some early scoreboard confusion. But they lead now 4-0. And Thomas is going to hand it off here over to Scarlett. And he'll cross the timeline here. Switch over to Johnson. Johnson Back over to Itigbo. Itigbo down low, Thomas throws it back out. That goes out of bounds. And a turnover there for Burlington Township. The Chargers will take over. Bit of a slop fest to start this game out here within the first minute plus.
Still trying to figure out who we're going to award that first bucket to. I'm trying to think back. I believe it was Bergen, right? Number 3, I'm being told. Yeah, I think so.
This is Bergen.
Oh, no. John. Sorry, I got my lineups mixed up. So it was Johnson with that first bucket.
There's Johnson again. Going to go coast to coast, lay one in off the glass, and it's in 6-0 Burlington Township. 90 seconds in, and Burlington, the early lead so far. Timber Creek still trying to find their footing. Here's Benjamin driving in, and now he lost that ball off his foot and out of bounds again on Timber Creek. Another turnover for the Chargers.
Yeah, so award Johnson that early bucket where they didn't put it up on the board. Award him that last bucket, and he's a guy that can get up and down and likes to run, and here he is again.
This is Johnson dishing it over underneath. Back out into the paint, back underneath. Here's Johnson again trying to come up, and he cannot get it. Ball stripped away, but Burlington got it back with Dotson. Now Dotson tries to fish it over to Johnson, and it is going to be a loose ball, and it'll be ruled in favor of Burlington Township.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned 6-0 Timber Creek coming in, and they played some solid teams. They have wins over Haddonfield and Pennsgrove, but in terms of, height and athleticism, this is probably the toughest team they've faced to date. It's a very long Burlington Township Falcons team.
Another kickball violation, and it'll be off of Timber Creek, so Burlington Township once again keeping the ball here as Scar looks to inbound. He's going to find Johnson. This is Thomas now, top. Swinging around over to Itigbo. Thomas again, top of the key, underneath. One Scarlett driving in, lost the ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Chargers. They're going to say it was last off of Green. And with 5:41 to play here, first quarter, sloppy game so far, but Burlington Township has a 6-0 lead over undefeated Timber Creek. Underneath, and that bucket, not going to count on Itigbo, try to put it up. And we have another whistle on Timber Creek. They're going to get Green once again.
Itigbo, great position as he carves out a little room for himself down low. He wanted the and one, but the officials had it on the floor.
Thomas now, top of the key, driving in, fakes over the side. Here's Scarlett. And that one is no good for 3. And coming back is Bergen for Timber Creek, trying to push it up the floor. Here's Green, trying to drive in, reverse layup, got it to go. And Timber Creek finally on the board, 6-2, 5.5 to play here, first quarter.
High degree of difficulty on that layup there, but Green making it look relatively easy.
Itigbo walked there. He tried to get away with one, but took a few too many steps and he hopped. There'll be another turnover there for Burlington Township, so 5:21 to play. In the first quarter, 6-2, Burlington on top of Timber Creek. Benjamin now. Driving right wing, kicks it out. That's Green for 3. Way off the mark, he airballed it. And the rebound there by Dotson. We'll get it over to Thomas. Thomas, head full of steam, fakes, stops, now drives inside, lost the ball, picked up, and trying to clean up is Johnson, who does. And it's 8-2 now, Burlington Township.
Dotson never really had a handle on that ball, but luckily his teammate was right there to not only grab it, but put it in the hoop.
Benjamin. Here's Painter now underneath. Trying to get it back over to Painter. He's got it into the corner. Chance now for Bladen for 3. No good. Loose ball picked up, still loose, and it goes into the seats. Possession ruled in favor of Timber Creek.
Painter very active on the offensive end. A big fella, but very nimble on his feet. He's able to get up in the air and tip some balls around, grab an offensive rebound, tip it out to his teammate.
And Sterling, because he was hanging around the wing as well, so could see a 3-point shot from him eventually. Here he is, left wing. He'll hand it off back over to Bergen. Bergen being pressured here by Scarlett. Bergen trying to get around. He lost the ball, and it's going to be a turnover. Burlington Township will take over once again. Timber Creek just struggling to find any sort of offensive rhythm.
Throw a striped shirt on Falcons head coach Ryan Derry. He had that 5-second call about a half second before the officials made it, but he was right. Great defense from his team there.
Itigbo. We're going to have a violation on the floor. It'll be Timber Creek ball. 4:10 to play here in the first quarter, 8-2. And here is Bergen. Back over to Benjamin. He'll cross the timeline. Head full of steam, crossing right wing. And underneath tries to lay one up. No good. A rebound attempt there by Painter. Can't get it. And now Burlington Township comes back the other way. Itigbo, right wing. Over to Thomas now. Top of the key. Under 4 to play. First quarter, they lead 8-2. Thomas driving into the paint. Kicks it out. A chance for 2. Got it. Jordan Dotson drills it. Makes it 10-2. Burlington Township. Bergen crossing in, blocked away by Itigbo. Now Bergen will try to get the ball back. Loose scramble for it. And we're going to have whistles on the floor with 3:34 to play in the first. And the referees will look to sort this out with possession. And it looks like Timber Creek is going to keep the ball here.
It's interesting. I guess they did call a jump ball, but, you know, Bergen was totally behind the Falcons player. So for him to tie up the Falcons player, he had to go from around his back.
He basically went over top of him and came
right,
behind.
So many times you see a foul called there, but, you know, I guess the officials ruled that he did have the ball, albeit from behind.
Well, Bergen is going to inbound it here for Timber Creek.
Now we have a plate on the floor. Pick up some gum. You see a little bit of everything here at the SEAGULL Classic.
I think you do. Not quite sweeping the floor, but we'll use a plate to get it off. That's pretty nimble. I never actually seen that.
One way to handle it. I was wondering what in the world was happening with that plate, but it's to pick up gum.
Bergen inbounds it for Painter. Put the jumper up. No good. Rebound there by Bergen. Bergen kicks it back out. Painter coming on in. Floater. No good. Loose ball again. Out of bounds it goes, and Burlington will get the ball back here as it's last touch by the Chargers.
I think what you're seeing early is, unless we're talking about transition points, there's going to be no easy buckets for either team down low. Everything is going to be contested. A lot of big-bodied athletes on both sides contesting everything at the rim.
Scarlett gets it underneath there to Dotson, who can't convert. Bergen comes back the other way, and a chance now for Timber Creek as Bladen goes up, and he is contacted on the way up. And he'll go to the line for some free points. 10-2 in favor of Burlington Township with 3:11 to go here in the first quarter.
Bladen, a senior, been a rotation player for head coach Rich Bolds for a few seasons now. They're hoping he can take a big step forward this year. Certainly one of their team leaders.
Puts that first one up and is no good. Misses off the front iron. Kicks out. They'll have another one here. Try to cut the lead back down to 7. Second one up for Bladen, nails that one. 10-3 now, Burlington Township on top. Here's Thomas. That ball tipped up in the air, nearly turned over. Now triple teamed, and we're going to get a timeout from the Burlington Township bench. 3:06 to play here in the first quarter. 10-3, Burlington Township on top of Timber Creek. Oy vey. They've already traded punts. Out of the timeout, Burlington Township up 10-3. Here's Thomas getting the inbound. 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Thomas now dishing over to Scarlett. Scarlett, top of the key, fakes over at Itigbo. Back to Thomas. Thomas back over to Itigbo, trying to drive baseline. Lay one up, no good. Rebound there by Painter. And now a chance for Bladen back the other way for Timber Creek. Bladen coming on and trying to slam one home, and it's no good. He falls down. No foul on the floor. And now Burlington comes back the other way. Itigbo driving in, kicks it out. 3 ball. Way off the mark there for Ray. And Timber Creek gets the ball back here. Here's Bergen. Bergen with contact, driving, top of the key. Kicks it back out in the corner. Chance for Bladen. Try to go behind the back, and now he turns it over. Chance now for Thomas on the other end for Burlington Township. And he puts it up off the glass. He's got to go. Daniel Thomas converts, and it's now 12-3. Burlington Township on top with 2:10 to play here in the first quarter. Wild sequence of events.
Yeah, credit to the officials early on, too. They're letting these guys play both ends. I mean, there's obviously some contact here, but, you know, nothing malicious. So they're going to let the kids decide this one.
Underneath for Roberts. And get that one to go, 12-5. Here's Thomas. Thomas across the timeline, taking it himself. Wants to go coast to coast, lays it up off the glass. Pretty right-handed layup there for Daniel Thomas. He has taken over here in the past couple minutes for Burlington Township, 14-5. Benjamin now for Timber Creek. 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Painter lost that one, stolen away. Chance now for Scarlett driving. Benjamin defending. Scarlett drives in, lays it in for two, 16-5. And Burlington Township builds themselves their first double-digit lead of the ball game.
Great concentration there from Josiah Scarlett, too. That wasn't a garden variety layup. I mean, he had to kind of put that thing behind his back for a moment and then go up with it.
Bergen missed the jumper, and back comes Thomas the other way, splitting a double team. Now we have a whistle on the floor. There'll be a foul on Timber Creek. 1:07 to play here in the first quarter, 16-5 in favor of Burlington Township.
Just more energy right now from the Falcons, you know, just more energy getting up and down. We talked about how both these teams like to run, but the Falcons are running with a purpose, and it seems like early on the Chargers are maybe a little bit sometimes running when the numbers aren't there or trying to force the issue a little bit.
Ray's going to inbound it here for the Falcons, and he'll get it in. This is Poole. Poole dishes back over. This is Johnson. Johnson drives, and he lost the ball, stripped away. Chance now for the Chargers. Bladen coming on in, driving baseline, lays it up, no good. Loose ball saved there. Bladen gets it back. He lays it in for two. Great hustle work there by the Chargers. 16-7 now is your score. Just over 40 seconds to go. Johnson now driving in, kicks it over. Underneath Atikbo, trying to save it. Stolen away again. Chance now for Thompson. He just checked into the ball game. Thompson to Painter. That's Roberts. Back over to Poole. I beg your pardon, Thompson could not get it. Rebound there, Bergen. Bergen, Painter. His shot was blocked. We got contact on the way up. 21 seconds to go here in the first. 16-7 in Burlington Township.
Great opportunity here for the Chargers to settle in a bit. They get the bucket underneath from Bladen to get him to 7. Now if Painter can hit a few free throws, very much back in the game here as we head to the second quarter.
Well, he'll shoot 2 here. Painter, one of the go-to guys underneath. First one on the way, no good. Timber Creek so far 1 of 3 on the free throws here in this first quarter. Falcons had a big 16-5 lead, but the Chargers trying to fight back here before we head to the second quarter. Painter for his second. On the way. That one's also no good. Rebound there by Scarlett. Scarlett over to Thomas, right side. Thomas has Poole, double teamed. That ball turned over. Chance now for Roberts, come back the other way. Drives in, lays one up, no good, but a whistle. So Roberts will draw the contact with 9 seconds to go here in the first. 16-7, Falcons on top. And they're going to send Ahmad Roberts for Timber Creek to the free throw line.
We've seen the Falcons' length bother the Chargers a few times in the first quarter. That's really the first time you saw it the other way around as Creek was able to pressure out near midcourt, and the length of some of those players out there able to cause the turnover, particularly Ahmad Roberts.
First free throw's no good for Roberts. Timber Creek 1 of 5 in this first quarter from the free throw line. Just to cut the lead in half. Got it, 16-8. Roberts converts 1 of 2 from the line. Scarlett fakes the pass. He's double teamed in the backcourt, has to get it away. Thomas up the floor. Chance now, and now we have a whistle. We're going to get a walk. Christian Ray was called for the travel with 1.6 seconds to play in the first quarter. You want to talk about a nitty-gritty game here, Mike. You're going to get one all day here between these two squads.
Yeah, obviously the Falcons having to rush there. Time was working against them and just trying to do things a little too fast. Still had, you know, a tick and a half, if you will, on the clock, and just tried to rush that shot up a little faster than was probably necessary. And now Timber Creek, if they can have the old 1.5 second play here, they can maybe try to get some kind of miracle before the second quarter.
Well, Timber Creek will call a timeout with a second and a half to go here. They trail 16-8 as we are approaching the end of the first quarter here at the SEAGULL Classic here at Holy Spirit High School. 2 more games will follow this one. We'll have the Patrick School taking on St. Augustine Prep. And, of course, the hometown Holy Spirit Spartans taking on the Pleasantville Greyhounds in a classic rivalry between those two schools.
Yeah, it's become a tradition to close out the SEAGULL Classic here, now in its 3rd season since the reincarnation, if you will, by the South Jersey Basketball Summit. It's been a good day so far. Ocean City girls and Lenape girls. You know, Lenape was up by a lot in that game. Ocean City came back, made it a game. Second game, Haddonfield boys handling the Ocean City boys. And then the last one was a good one between Pennsgrove and Paulsboro. 2-point game in the half, and then Kevon Lewis went off in the 3rd quarter to secure the win for Pennsgrove. So it's been a good Sunday so far. Good start in this one. Still a couple more great games to go tonight.
Come out of the timeout. Timber Creek trailing 16-8, but as you mentioned, Mike, see if they can get their 2.5 play here before the end of the quarter.
Got to get something going toward the basket, obviously, but you don't want to throw it away.
Thompson to inbound it. Got Bergen, long range 3, well off the mark. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter with your score. Burlington Township 16, Timber Creek 8 here at the SEAGULL Classic.
Folks, all funds annually generated are directed to a number of areas for this weekend. The annual Patriotic Girls and Paul Rodeo Boys Scholarships. These $1,000 scholarships are selected and distributed by our South Jersey coaches to our student athletes continuing their education at the next level who can most benefit from our assistance. Boys and Girls Club of Atlantic City with our outstanding efforts in supporting the youth of the Atlantic City community. Folks, each year we designate a specific health cause to help combat. This year, the SEAGULL Classic has selected the heart. A partnership with local healthcare provider AtlantaCare will see donation aid to their cardiac department.
And they got to make the playoffs.
And the South Jersey Basketball Summit organizations would like to thank the entire South Jersey community for their continued support of our efforts and mission as we continue to grow and expand.
Set to begin the second quarter here at the SEAGULL Classic between Timber Creek and Burlington Township, with the Falcons on top 16-8 at the moment. Sean Thompson to inbound it for the Chargers. And got over to Bergen. And Bergen will cross the timeline. He's guarded tightly by Scarlett. Right wing underneath here for Roberts. Back underneath to Painter. Lays it up. Got it to go. 16-10. Timber Creek has fought back. They were down by as much as 11. They've now cut it to 6 as Thomas takes up the floor. And that pass picked off. Timber Creek back the other way. And here comes Roberts laying it up off the glass. And he got it to go. 16-12. 7-0 run here for the Chargers. That ball, he got tipped. Somehow goes out of bounds into the seats behind underneath the basket. But Burlington Township's still going to inbound it here. Scarlett. Thomas, he can't corral. He has to dive for it, picks it up. Scramble for it. We got some whistles on the floor. And they're going to rule this Burlington Township ball.
Yeah, it's really hard to penalize the hustle there, Nick, but when so many bodies are hitting the floor, there has to be some kind of contact, so they go foul against the Chargers there. But really great hustle from both sides.
Burlington will keep the ball here as Thomas crossing the timeline. Along the left wing, Itigbo in the corner. Coming up front, they'll swing it around. Thomas fakes, step back, wants the long range 3, in and out. Rebound there by Painter. Timber Creek on a 7-0 run. Have a chance to push up the floor. That ball knocked out of bounds, and it will be kept in possession with the Chargers as Roberts was the intended target.
Yeah, Thomas is almost playing like a free safety in football there. He had to come halfway across the court to try and tip that ball out of bounds and break up the fast break.
Be Thompson to inbound it for the Chargers. About a minute gone here in the first quarter, or excuse me, the second quarter. 16-12. Falcons on top. Bladen. He's got Bergen again. Wall on the right wing. He'll drive, step back into the corner. This is Thompson, back out to Bergen. Continue to swing it around. Bladen looking for an open man. Cannot find one. Still struggling to get rid of the ball. Got it back out to Bergen. Now Thompson again. Underneath the Roberts, kicks it back out. Bladen wants a three. Got it to go! Bladen drills it. It's 16-15. It's a 10-0 run for the Chargers.
And if you're Creek, that's the way to attack that zone. You have to try to go inside out. Working it around the perimeter is not going to do the job.
Ray struggling, got it over to Johnson, though. He'll drive in, lay it up, no good. Trying to get his own ball back, he cannot. Now Bladen comes back the other way. Roberts to the hoop, and it was almost blocked, and it somehow is going to scoop its way in. 17-16, Timber Creek has come charging back on a 12-0 run, and a timeout there for Burlington Township.
Timeout, Burlington Township. It's a full timeout.
What a run.
Yeah, Richard Bolds, too, wanting a goaltending call as one of his players put the ball up and there was a slap of the backboard, but fortunate for Creek in that it wasn't called.
It went in anyway.
Follow by Bladen. Yeah, you know, right place, right time for Justin Bladen. I think he got the sense that it was going to be a contested layup or, you know, there might be a goaltending situation, but you play through the whistle, didn't hear one. Bladen kept going and he gets two.
It seemed as if since Timber Creek has subbed in Sean Thompson and they've gotten Justin Bladen going, the Chargers have been able to storm back, and they're on this 12-0 run with 6:05 to play here in the half.
Yeah, Bladen now with 8 points in the half, Nick, to lead the way for Creek. We talked about how he has to be the leader on this team. And then for Burlington Township, Anthony Johnson with the 6, but certainly Falcons needing a bucket here to try and stem the tide.
Head coach Ryan Derry for the Burlington Township Falcons certainly can't be pleased at what has transpired in the past few minutes of game time since near the end of the first quarter. As we mentioned before, they had a 16-5 lead. No inbound, Itigbo. Over to Johnson. Johnson kicks it back over to Itigbo. They have to cross the timeline. Good full court pressure here by Timber Creek. Itigbo will get across. Drive inside. Crazy layup attempt, and it'll be a foul on Burlington Township as Scarlett could not get it to the hoop.
Scarlett was stepping every which way as he tried to get to the bucket and just kind of ran out of moves there. Was
trying to avoid all contact.
Was stumbling to the ground and one or two too many steps.
There's Bladen. Right wing now for Timber Creek. They'll continue to swing it around. Here's Thompson. Bergen again. Bergen directing traffic, and that ball was stolen away as Thompson absorbed the contact. Thompson again, left wing, near the bench. Guarded tightly by Johnson. Thompson coming on in. Back over to Roberts. Thompson in the corner driving. Payne kicks it out. Bladen driving. Steps and shoots and could not get it. Itigbo the rebound. He'll take it up the floor. Dotson, right wing, double teamed. Trying to get through the contact. We have whistles. And we are going to get a foul. Looks like on Bergen. That's his second personal of the game. 5:07 to play here in the first half. 17-16, Timber Creek on top.
Richard Bolds not thrilled with the call as he rips the jacket off.
It is getting hot in here.
It's the rough equivalent of the Paul Rodeo removal of the necktie, which also has a chance of happening later on tonight as the Hermits are taking on the Patrick School.
National power of the Patrick School.
That's right.
Thomas has it again for the Falcons. Driving into the paint, lost the ball out of bounds. Last touch by him, and it'll be a turnover once again. The Chargers get the ball back.
Yeah, that's the right call there. Colby Miller, credit him with stripping that ball and knocking it off the knee of the Burlington Township player. So Miller, fresh into the game and already making a difference.
Thompson over to Still. Just checked in the game as well for the Chargers. So is Nate Vaughn. Here's Roberts. Back over to Thompson. Continue to swing it around. Here's Miller. Miller getting pushed back. Here's Roberts now top of the key. Straight on three. Wants it, and it is going to bounce in. How about that one for Roberts? It's now 20-16 in favor of Timber Creek. Over 4.5 to play here in the first half.
I don't think the Falcons thought that Roberts was going to shoot that basketball. He sort of caught it moving toward the other basket at the top of the key, but You know, two players were there, but once he turned, he was wide open and he let it rip.
Looks like Scarlett lost it out of bounds, and he is a little dumbfounded. But Timber Creek now will get the ball back, and they are on a 15-0 run. It's about the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Thompson inbounded for Timber Creek. Got Benjamin, left wing, driving into the paint. Tries to kick it back out. It's stolen away. Itigbo coming back the other way for Burlington Township. Lays it off the glass, and he got it to go, and the run finally comes to a screeching halt. 20-18 as the Falcons finally answer. And we're going to get an and one. Late whistle on the play, and Itigbo's going to go to the line to convert the three-point play.
Talk about doing it at both ends. Emmanuel Itigbo with the steal at the one end, coast to coast, takes the contact and able to finish it.
That foul was on Colby Miller. Itigbo could not get the free throw to go, and Roberts will get the rebound. Chargers up the floor. Here's Benjamin. Drives back out to Roberts. He's guarded tightly by Thomas. Roberts lost it, trying to get it back. He does. Over to Miller. Miller kicks it underneath. And losing it out of bounds is still. That'll be a turnover. Falcons get the ball back.
Still just ran out of room along the baseline there, Nick. You know, he had a path at first, but once the Falcons took away that baseline, he really had nowhere to go.
Itigbo up the sideline, taking it himself, trying to go coast to coast, off the glass. No good, but we got a foul. It's an offensive foul, and Timber Creek's bench erupts after that call.
Yeah, it didn't look at first like Demetrius Painter had the right angle, but he certainly had position. So the fact that he was there, the officials whistled the charge.
Benjamin to inbound it for the Chargers. We're halfway through the second quarter. Timber Creek was down 16-5. They have a 20-18 lead. Good steal attempt there by Johnson. Almost got it back for Burlington Township. Here's Miller up the floor now for the Chargers. Trying to find a man. Underneath, laying one up goes Green, and the ball finds its way in. Good cleanup job there by Painter, and it's 22-18.
Again, that's Painter. You look at him, you don't think he can do something like that, but just so quick on his feet, puts it right back up in one motion.
Dotson driving into the paint, and he is blocked out of bounds by Painter, but we are going to get a whistle. And call that one on Timber Creek. Looks like Painter got a little too much skin on that block attempt. But Dotson will go to the line for two. First of two for Dotson. Got it to go. 22-19 your score now. Some subs about to come in for Burlington Township. Looks like Jordan Poole's coming back in. Second one on the way for Dotson. He got it to go. 22-20. Benjamin now. Over to Miller. Back to Benjamin as they cross the timeline. Benjamin, a long pass, just got it back out. This is still driving in off the glass, and he got a friendly roll. 24-20 now. Timber Creek on top.
Tarheeb Still, the Maryland football recruit, showing off that he can play a little hoops too.
Nice to be multi-talented. Here's Johnson coming on in for Burlington Township. Got it, and the foul. 24-22 your score, 2:50 to play here in the half. And Johnson will go to the line to complete the three-point play.
What an answer there from Johnson. He knew he was going to take some contact too, driving against the big fella Painter, but he takes that contact and finds a way to get it to go down.
Johnson for the free throw to cut it to a 1-point lead. Put it on up. Got it. Johnson makes it 24-23. Here's Bladen. Cross-court pass. Has Still. Benjamin now. Driving to his right. Inside to the paint. Underneath. Wants Green. Lays it up. Got it to go. Little finger roll there for Green. 26-23.
Tremendous catch, too, from Austin Green. That wasn't easy as the Chargers force a turnover.
Thomas lost it. Here's Benjamin in the corner. Wants a three ball. Got it to go. They're going to call that a two-pointer. Foot was in front of the line, 28-23 now, Timber Creek. Here's Poole back the other way. Poole driving into the paint, baseline, kicks it back out. A chance here for Ray for three. He got it to go, 28-26. Now we're seeing some back and forth between these two teams. Johnson almost got a steal. And now still, cross court. Benjamin, guarded by Poole. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. Bladen, three-ball attempt from Still, way off the mark. Cleaned up there by Miller for two. 30-26. Johnson dealing with the double team, loose ball, and it got a whistle on the floor. We're going to get a timeout from Burlington Township. No foul on the floor. 1:37 to play here in the half, 30-26. Timber Creek on top of Mike. We're finally seeing some back and forth, some more shooting opportunities for both these teams, not just so much in the paint like we saw in the first quarter.
Yeah, you know, looking at the Sunday slate here at the SEAGULL Classic, Nick, I kind of had a chance, I had a thought that this had a chance to be maybe the game of the day. I mean, obviously the gym is starting to fill up, and with good reason, as the Patrick School is going to get a chance to take on St. Augustine next, and obviously the big rivalry, the gym will be packed for Holy Spirit Pleasantville later tonight, but these are really two of the more athletic teams featured here this weekend. They match up very evenly, and as you just mentioned, you know, they both like to get up and down. So, you know, a couple struggles there in the first quarter, especially for Timber Creek, but both teams seemingly firing on all cylinders here as we close in toward halftime.
Johnson to inbound it. Here's Thomas. Top of the key now, Johnson. And he got that one swiped away, and we're going to get a whistle. I'll call that foul on Johnson as Bladen had a free run to the hoop.
Just the fifth team foul on Burlington Township, so it'll be side out of bounds for the Chargers, but there's Bladen making a difference on defense as well. You know, he's pumped in the points. He has a team high 8 so far, but big time steal there to get possession right back to Creek.
Benjamin now, right wing, double team, gets it away, inside, chance here for Bladen, drills it home. 32-26, 1:10 to play here in the half. Johnson got away, here's Thomas. Thomas underneath, Dodson comes up, lays it in for two. Benjamin, fast-paced basketball now. Timber Creek up by 4, Bergen back over to Benjamin. Benjamin driving, off-balance shot, got it to go somehow, 34-28. And now Johnson lost the ball, no whistle. That ball's going to trickle out of bounds. Let's see who last touched it. Burlington Township last touched it, and Timber Creek will keep the ball here.
Yeah, probably should have been a traveling violation against the Falcons, so what's that they say, the ball don't lie? Works out to stay with Creek anyway. The play happened right in front of the Chargers bench, and Falcons player kind of turned, didn't realize there was a body there, and maybe took an extra step. Whistles were silent, but it stays with the Chargers regardless.
Looks like Johnson was shaken up on that play as well. Here's Bergen top of the key. Three-ball attempt here for Miller off the mark. Cleaned up there by Benjamin, puts it in for two, 36-28.
Benjamin, the smallest player, at least one of them on the floor. No one suspects he's going to rip away the rebound down low, but that's exactly what he does. A little thievery down there.
Thomas tried to find somebody. Scarlett wanted a foul as he falls over. Another turnover, and a chance now for Timber Creek to make this a double-digit game. Benjamin, 4-3, no good. Rebound, Painter trying to come out with it, lays it up, and it's snagged out of the air by Dotson. And with that, we'll just chuck it down the court, and we have come to halftime. Burlington Township was not aware of the clock on that last possession, but after the conclusion of 2 quarters, we have a 36-28 lead for Timber Creek. They were down 16-5 at one point, but they have closed it out on a 31-12 run to end the half. It's halftime here at the SEAGULL Classic. Once again, your halftime score, Timber Creek 36, Burlington Township 28. School. Nick Costco alongside Mike Frankel for the SEAGULL Classic. Great set of games on tap here this evening as we are about to start the second half between Burlington Township and Timber Creek, with the Timber Creek Chargers on top 36-28. They had a 16-5 hole in that first quarter, and they have stormed back, taking an 8-point lead. And for a while, Mike, we had a very, very sloppy game. Burlington Township was taking care of all the garbage. They were taking advantage of all these turnovers as well. But Timber Creek finally got something going, and his name is Justin Bladen. He was the guy who kind of got everything going there for the Chargers, and everyone kind of followed suit after that.
No doubt, Nick. Bladen leading the way right now with 10 points. Ahmad Roberts chipping in with 8. Eric Benjamin with 6. A couple buckets very late in the period there. Painter manning the middle has 4 points. On the other side for Burlington Township, it's been Anthony Johnson leading the way with 9 points. Jordan Dotson with 6. And Daniel Thomas with 4.
Ray inbounds it. And Burlington Township now going left to right to open up this half. Here's Thomas, top of the key. He'll swing over to Aigbo. Back over to Thomas. And already that ball goes out of bounds. Another turnover there for the Falcons. Just the sloppiness has not stopped since they built their double-digit lead. Bergen up the floor now for the Chargers as we begin the third quarter. It's Benjamin, long range 3, and it's going to be off the mark, rebounded there by Thomas. Thomas now calling for some help. Here's Scarlett, getting it back out. Aigbo in the corner. Ray for 3, off the mark, and rebound loose, out of bounds. Painter went for Timber Creek. And Burlington Township will keep possession.
Painter kind of landed awkwardly there. Couldn't tell if he came down on another foot, but seemed to have the clean rebound. All of a sudden, he was tumbling out of bounds.
Ray trying to inbound it, and he got Thomas. Snags it out of the air. Thomas kicks it out. Scarlett for 3. In and out. Rebound, Aigbo trying to clean it up. Scarlett comes back up now to try to clean that one up. Cannot. Here's Bergen. Bergen to Green. Lays it in for 2. And Timber Creek has a double-digit lead for the first time this evening. Ray Aigbo, right wing, driving in. Off-balance layup, no good. Scramble for it on the ground, it's loose. Aigbo picks it up. He'll throw it off the glass and cannot convert again. Green touched it, but last touch by Burlington Township, and the Chargers will get it back with a 10-point lead. 6:50 to play here, third quarter.
Just nothing easy around the basket right now for the Falcons. The Chargers making Burlington Township work for any potential basket they might get, whether it's Payne or some of the other big bodies down there, really contesting just about everything.
Bergen's pass tipped up in the air. Thomas steals it away. Got a clean lane to the hoop. Thomas coming on in, tries to two-hand slam it, but he'll settle for the awkward layup. It's 38-30.
Counts for 2 in the box score all the same, Nick.
There's no extra style points. A steal here. Dotson tipped it away. Now Thomas. Now he loses the ball as he hits the deck, and it's picked up by Bergen. Back over to Painter. He corrals it. Almost lost the ball, and he's going to get called for a violation on the floor, and they'll turn over once again. 6:17 to play, third quarter, and Burlington Township gets the ball back.
Chargers almost trying to play a little too fast there. If they just waited a little bit, that was going to develop into a 3-on-1 fast break. Instead, they rushed it, and Painter travels. Now it looks like we have a whistle. Foul going against Creek.
A lot of contact in this game as Thomas hits the deck again. Falcons keep the ball. Scarlett inbounds to Thomas. And he is going to cross the timeline. That last foul called on Bladen for Timber Creek. Here's Scarlett trying to direct traffic. Guarded tightly by Bladen. Here's Dotson, top of the key now. Underneath to Aigbo. Aigbo triple team, kicks it back out. Scarlett driving in, fakes, puts one up, and got the friendly roll. 38-32. Burlington Township back within 6.
Painter trying to draw a charge there, but Scarlett able to pull up just enough. Painter still hit the floor, but no charge called.
Benjamin goes down hard as he drove fast into the hoop. And he loses the ball. Dotson with the foul for Burlington Township. After that whistle, it'll be Bergen to inbound it for Timber Creek. Three-pointer on the way for Bladen, and he's got it. Justin Bladen got Timber Creek going in the first half. He's continuing it here. 9-point lead, and Bladen almost got the steal there. Aigbo up the floor now. Dotson driving into the paint, steps, lays one up, no good. Rebound there by Green. Bergen up the floor, fast, Bladen, another three from the right corner, got it again! Justin Bladen, back-to-back threes, and it's 44-32, largest lead of the night for the Chargers. And we almost had a steal there. Thomas does get it back, though, for Burlington Township. That ball loose, kicked out of bounds, and last touch by Timber Creek. Justin Bladen, he is all over the floor. Back-to-back threes, and nearly got another steal on this end of the floor. But Burlington Township keeps the ball here.
First of all, he's wide open off the inbounds pass. That's one guy you can't lose in the corner. And then it's fun to watch him work his way back down. He found that same exact spot. He knew what spot he wanted to get to. He caught it there, and he knocked down another one.
He's got an absolute high motor. Here's Igbo driving in, trying to lay one up. No good, but he drew contact on the way up. 4:56 to play here, third quarter. 44-32 is your score. Timber Creek on top. And Igbo's going to go to the line to shoot two. That last foul, they're going to get Green for that one. That's his second of the ball game. Igbo from the free throw line puts one up, and he got it to go.
Fouls on Austin Green, number 20, his second personal.
44-33.
He's second at the line shooting. He is number 13, Emmanuel Ayetipo.
Tebow drills it. 44-34. Here's Benjamin now for Timber Creek. Double team. Has to get rid of it. Got across the timeline. Here's Green up the floor. Painter has a chance. Going to lay one up, and he got it to go. Dotson couldn't get the block. And it's now 46-34.
Good job playing the angle there by Painter. He knew he was going to have someone contesting that shot, but he sort of shielded the defender off with his body.
Scarlett's going to miss the jumper there, and here's Bladen with the rebound, splitting a triple team. Underneath the Bergen, and that ball knocked out of bounds, but a foul on the way up as Bergen draws the contact. With 4.5 to play here in the third, Timber Creek trying to build on their 12-point lead.
And that foul is called on Burlington Township.
Chargers certainly have the horses, too. I mean, they go deep. Both teams relatively deep, but Timber Creek even more so. You see these guys getting up and down. You get tired just watching them, but they have the subs ready to bring in when some of these guys get winded.
Bergen nails the first free throw. That last foul called on Daniel Thomas for Burlington Township. It's 47-34 after the first free throw there from Bergen. He'll put it on up. Got a friendly roll. 48-34. Thomas has Dotson crossing the timeline, driving on it himself, steps around, lays one up, no good. Loose ball, and it goes out of bounds. And last touch by Burlington Township.
And again, a situation we talked about it early in the first half where Creek was maybe running when they didn't need to run. That's a situation there where Burlington Township doesn't have numbers. I know you like to get up and down, but at some point, if you don't have numbers, you can't force it. You have to back it out and run your offense.
Bergen now will direct traffic for the Chargers. They're up 14. 4 minutes to play here in the third. This is Benjamin now near left wing. He's guarded tightly by Ray. Benjamin looking for a screen, got one from Painter. Driving around to the right side, he'll back up now. Benjamin still trying to direct traffic, kicks it over. Bergen on the right wing. Underneath Painter. Painter driving, steps, lays one up. Got it to go. Demetrius Painter makes it a 16-point lead for Timber Creek. Quick stoppage, got to fix a shoe there for Scarlett for Burlington Township, but this is the largest lead of the night for Timber Creek at 16 points. Don't forget, they were down 11 in the first quarter. They have not looked back since.
Painter's got that old school game, doesn't he? That low post old school game. Takes his time down there, little flick of the wrist and lays it in.
Three-pointer on the way for Ray, way off the mark. Rebounded, though, by Scarlett. He fakes a three. Now he'll take one himself, and he got it to go. Josiah Scarlett drills it. 50-37, your score now.
Josiah Scarlett.
Bergen got a screen. Up the floor he goes. In the corner for Green. Green bowling over a man, and it'll be Scarlett drawing the offensive foul.
Big sequence of both ends there for the Falcons. You get a much-needed bucket offensively, and then Scarlett sacrificing his body defensively. This game was really in danger of totally getting out of hand here in the third, but now you're still down by 13 if you're Burlington Township. A chance to chip away even more here with the ball.
Green's going to check out for Timber Creek. In comes Roberts. Scarlett now for Burlington Township over to Itigbo. Dotson in the paint underneath. Ray lays it in, could not get it to go. Ball up for grabs, still up. Benjamin's got it, and now we're getting more contact as Scarlett draws the contact. But before that, we're going to get a travel on Benjamin. Falcons get the ball back.
Again, just moving a little too fast maybe if you're the Chargers. Again, if you just sort of grab that ball and just even come down with it for a second, you have a 3-on-1 break. But Benjamin just trying to go full steam ahead. You know, you want to run, and obviously Creek likes to get up and down, but again, you know, you have to pick your spots.
Pretty move by Itigbo, but he can't finish. He'll get his own rebound, puts it back up, no good. Rebound there by Bergen. Benjamin now left wing, driving into the paint, step back, puts it up, wave that basket off, wouldn't have counted. And we're going to get a foul, looks like on Dotson for Burlington Township. We're going to inbound now. In the corner, here's Benjamin. Painter underneath, double team, back out. Benjamin, left wing, three, wants it, got it, all Cotton. Eric Benjamin puts Timber Creek back up by 16. It's 53-37. Dotson now driving, paint, lays one up, could not get it to go. Rebound by Painter, and now Benjamin running fast, up the floor, wide open Roberts. In the corner for a three for Bladen, no good, almost drilled it. Rebound there by Thomas. Just a hair off there for Bladen. And now Scar lost the ball going out of bounds, could not corral the pass, and that's going to be a turnover.
Little heat check from that corner pocket from Justin Bladen. He hit two earlier this period from over there. He wanted one more. His teammates set him up, just couldn't knock that one down, but Chargers still in great shape here, up by 16.
Third time was not the charm there for Bladen. Benjamin now top of the key, splitting a double team, lost the ball, picks it back up, lays it in. I don't know how he did that. My goodness, Eric Benjamin, we mentioned before, Mike, probably the smallest player on the floor, making everything happen. Poole, cross court, Dotson now. Kicks it back out, lost it, Benjamin the steal, up the floor, Bladen coming on in, and he slams it home with one hand. Justin Bladen. 59-37, and he knocks that ball out of bounds. Justin Bladen came to play here today.
Creek just taking full control of this game here in the third quarter. You got a taste of this in the second quarter. They were able to surge in front. Of course, they were in the big hole early, but now just totally pulling away from the Falcons and getting contributions from so many players, whether it's Benjamin or Bladen or Painter down low.
Loose scramble, and it's a steal at the moment. The referee's going to say it did go out of bounds first, so it'll remain Burlington Township ball. It's 57-37. 20-point lead for Timber Creek, largest by either side tonight. Inbound the ball is Poole. This is Thomas driving in, step back, wants the jumper, could not get it to go, and Painter grabs a tough rebound. Benjamin now up the floor, crossing the timeline, stops, dribbles again, hops, puts one up, could not get it to go. Rebound there by Thomas. Thomas, high pass, got Itigbo. Itigbo driving on in, steps around, now he lost it. Thomas got the loose ball, puts it up, can't get it. And a rebound there by Thompson. Benjamin, Bladen, baseline coming on up, throws it up, no good, and we got some contact, and almost had some extracurriculars as Bladen is held back by Thompson. A tough foul there from Dotson for Burlington Township.
Certainly one of those games that's really primarily being played above the rim, no doubt about it. I mean, we've seen some games, some different styles here. I had a chance to see Haddonfield earlier, and you know, Ben Serrato for Haddonfield can certainly get up, but for the most part, that's a game that's being played on the perimeter. But this is a game that's really at both ends being played above the rim.
One of the more physical games you'll see all night long. Here's Bladen now from the line as Dotson got hit with his second personal foul of the ball game. First free throw on the way. It is no good.
Bladen with 18 points so far tonight, Nick. Eric Benjamin filling up the stat sheet as well. He has 11. Painter with 8. Those three really leading the charge. Ahmad Roberts also with 8.
Bladen second. Got it to go. 58-37 is your score now. 1:05 to play here in the third quarter. Going down to do with a full court press despite being down by 21. That ball tipped away and stolen by Painter. Here's Still. Top of the key. Over to Thompson. Underneath Painter. Driving into the paint. Trying to back him down. Low in the post. Step back. Turnaround jumper. No good. And the rebound there by Thomas. Thomas up the floor. He's got Poole. Left wing. Driving it himself. Going to lay one up. It is no good. He drew the contact. And that one's on Painter. So Poole's going to go to the line for 2.
You can see it in the body language right now, Nick. Burlington Township Falcons know they're in trouble. A lot of hands on hips right now. A lot of dejected faces.
They have been outscored 53-21 since that 16-5 lead in. Poole misses the first free throw.
21-9 in this quarter alone. So it's 22-9 make that. It's just been really all Creek. You know, you've seen some flashes from the Falcons at times, but for the most part, since that second quarter on, as we have a buzzer during a free throw here.
That seemed to be accidental, so they're going to probably give Poole another opportunity here for a second free throw as he missed the first. And they will.
Unless they want some clarification here as to whom the foul was on.
Well, they have it on Painter. That's his third of the ball game. He's got to be careful. He's in foul trouble now. Painter's been one of the more...
I think we may have, you know, do we have someone in the game who's not in the book is the issue. Trying to sort this out here.
Right now, we actually have Burlington Township sub, number 20. We don't have him on our roster either.
That's got to be the issue, right? No 20 in the book? 22, yeah. Seeing some, a few different jerseys out there, which always sometimes creates an issue with who's in the book and who's not.
I mean, they could be JV jerseys that they didn't have. Maybe they had, I don't know, varsity jerseys for the night? I don't know.
You see it. I mean, a lot of teams, you see it with some of the kids at the deeper end of the bench, and whether it's a JV jersey, whether it's an old varsity jersey, just not quite matching up. Still the same color, but right now we have a couple kids on the floor. One in particular who's seeing the court for the first time.
Yeah, we have not seen number 20 in the game at all for Burlington Township. So we're going to wait on.
So we still have the Falcons shooting free throws, though, which is interesting. I think we're going to walk the floor now. And we are.
Looks like we might get a...
so that was the second free throw there for Jordan Yook. That was his second, remember, his second when the horn sounded.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, referee just said 20 white is not in the book, so it'll be a technical free throw here for Benjamin. He does make it.
Okay. 22 doesn't matter to me what number it is. I will take 20. 20 was not enough.
Benjamin will shoot 2 technical free throws, nail both, and it's 60-38 now.
On Burlington Township, by rule, Timber Creek retains possession.
So Jackson, beg your pardon, Miller inbounded it to Benjamin here.
So this is interesting, Nick. Excuse me. We also have now 22 on the floor for the Chargers, who is also not on the official ledger, as we're sitting next to Tom Williams and Joe Fussner, who have been keeping copious stats all night. So they don't have a couple of these kids on the floor, but we're going to get through this thing.
Apparently, a lot of books don't have the right roster numbers. So after that mess, here's Thomas now for Burlington Township back the other way, spinning around, dumps it underneath for Itigbo, but it's picked off. And here's Benjamin back the other way for the Chargers, trying to get a bucket before the end of the quarter. Scoops it in, got it to go, 62-38. There's your score, and the third quarter comes to a close. Timber Creek is running away with it. They lead by 24, 62-38 at the end of 3. Timber Creek on top of Burlington Township.
You want to talk about body language? I mean, we spoke about it a couple minutes ago. There was a couple seconds left that Burlington Township could maybe inbound that ball and see what happens, but I mean, you know, you hate to call a game early, but it just looks right now that the Falcons are defeated. We talked about sort of the stamina and the depth of Timber Creek. They can run so many bodies at you, including some kids who we don't even have names for. And I think right now it's catching up to Burlington Township. I mean, quite frankly, the Falcons just don't go as deep. And once this thing started to slip away, it's kind of snowballed right now against Township.
Can't emphasize it enough. In that first quarter, a 16-5 lead for Burlington Township. Since then, they have been outscored 57-22.
Yeah, it's, you talk about a game of runs, right? And sometimes they go back and forth. Well, this has really just been 2 runs. It was Burlington Township out of the gate, and then it was Timber Creek the rest of the way, or at least up until the 4th quarter here. Obviously 8 minutes to go, but this is a very, very high mountain to climb here if you're the Falcons of Township.
Well, we are ready to resume action.
Anybody have a leading score? Get him.
Thompson now crossing the timelines to begin the final quarter of play.
Timber Creek starts the foot corner with the ball.
Underneath, here's 22, a name again, once again, that's not recognized by any books on the floor, but he's fouled on the way up.
I think we're going with add new player right now, officially, for number 22. We'll try to track down his name at some point here. Not in the program either, so that's pretty much the extent of my detective skills.
Well, our unknown player will nail the free throw here for Timber Creek.
Previous foul was on number 5, Daniel Thomas' 3rd personal foul.
Second one is good. Both free throws down for 22 as Poole takes it up. Poole, that pass nearly picked over. Tebow gets it back, and now here's Thomas in the corner. Another unknown for Burlington Township as Benjamin nearly got the steal there.
Now we have another issue here. This may be trying to sort out 22, as I think it's across the way. We have the official bookkeepers. This is one of those tournament busters, right? Where we have a couple games to go, they need to start on time, and everything's going swimmingly, and all of a sudden we have chaos. So I don't know.
Did you hear white shoes?
White shoots, I think, is what we're going with there, and I think it's because 22 is not in the book. We could have just had some offsetting book technical fouls a while back and saved ourselves some trouble, but
yeah, because they did not do the technical fouls yet for Timber Creek, because they did not have 22 in the book. So Tebow will nail the first technical free throw.
Oh my God!
And here's his second one. Got to go. 64-40. So now the technicals are sorted out.
So for those keeping score at home, the T's based on the book were tied at 1, which is rare. Done a lot of high school basketball games.
Even in high school, Mike, you rarely see that.
You see 1 every once in a while, but to have 2 is unique.
Contact there from Colby Miller on Itigbo. So Miller will get called for the foul, and now Itigbo's going to go to the line to shoot free throws. 7:47 to play in this ball game. 64-40 is your score. Itigbo got the first one of the 1-and-1.
Good time, Nick, to remind everyone out there of some of our great sponsors here at the SEAGULL Classic: Atlantic Care Urgent Care Centers, also the Ocean Casino Resort of Atlantic City.
Second one on the way for Itigbo, no good. Rebound there by Thompson. Thompson up the floor. Going coast to coast is still got it to go. 66-41.
Man, Maryland's getting one heck of an athlete in that football program, aren't they, with Tarheeb Skill?
Had the height, may look like taking another breath.
It's funny. I mean, just, we have a 25-point game here, so we can kind of expand on some other things, but he had the South Jersey single-season receiving record for about 2 weeks. His career was done, and then Chris Long goes and plays a bowl game, so he gets an extra game or 2, and then Chris Long breaks it. So
of course he does.
So there's your fun fact there. He had the all-time record for about 2 weeks.
All right, Tigbo for the 1-and-1 nails the first one after the foul from Timber Creek. That last foul called on Still, as we were just talking about him. Here's the second one for Tigbo, and he got it to go. 66-43, 7.5 to play in the ball game. 23-point lead here for Timber Creek. Here's Benjamin up the floor, left wing now. Benjamin underneath, stolen away by Poole. Poole up the floor. Itigbo baseline, driving in, puts one up, could not get it to go. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it will be Burlington Township ball.
Starters back into the game a little bit here for Timber Creek as Rich Bowles wants to get those guys a little more run here. Still a lot of time left, really basically the entire quarter here, as we've had to stop a lot for these book issues.
Yeah, can't take your foot off the gas pedal quite yet. Poole to inbound, got the Doxson, he lost it, and now it's picked up back the other way. Here comes Roberts all alone, lays it in for the easy deuce. 68-43, largest lead of the night here for Timber Creek, and we have a timeout from Burlington Township with 7:05 to play here in the fourth quarter. 68-43, Timber Creek on top.
SEAGULL Classic also brought to you by Atlantic Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, by the Calvi Electric Company, by Top Crop of Hamilton, and we'll have our Top Crop player of the game at the conclusion of this one. A couple worthy candidates so far, but still some time to be played here. Tournament also brought to you by Elevations Cabinetry and Millwork of Vineland, by Bagliani's Market of Hamilton, by the Forza Insurance Group of Atlantic City, Dondero Diamonds and Fine Jewelry of Vineland, Orlandini Tile Supplies of both Richland and Marcus Hook, PA, the DeWeese Law Firm, just to name a few.
That's it? That's it? Okay, thank you.
We're ready to resume play now after the timeout. Justin Bladen back in the game for Timber Creek. He leads all scorers tonight with 19 points. Thomas to inbound for Burlington Township, got Dotson. Tigbo up the line, and did he lose that one? No, looks like we're going to get a foul on Bladen. He is beside himself. I didn't see too much contact there, but what do I know? That's why I'm not a referee.
We saw all there was to see because it literally happened right in front of us. But, yeah, I mean, you know, a situation right now where if you're Timber Creek, you don't want to change what you're doing. You want to play, you know, physically and all that. But, you know, I think you ease up maybe a little bit because right now you're basically sending the Falcons after this into the double bonus. So the clock's going to stop, and they're going to get free throws the rest of the way here.
Tigbo nails the first. He'll shoot another. 68-44. On the way, got it. 68-45. He nails both. Here's Bladen in the corner. Gotta take it up. Bladen crosses the timeline. Here's Green. Fakes. Puts one up. Got it to go. Easy bucket there for Austin Green. Thomas hits the deck. Another foul on the floor.
And again, you know, it's hard, right? You got to straddle that line. You don't want to change what you do. And I think Rich Bolds is talking to his team about it right now. But you have to kind of be smarter and just, you know, whereas maybe
free flow a little
right,
bit.
You know, you'd go for that steal under normal circumstances, but when you're up by 25, maybe a situation where you let it go a little bit and, you know, you get back on defense and play your half-court defense, make the Falcons run some clock that way. But to foul them 80, 90 feet from the basket, you know, it's really the only chance Burlington Township has to get back in this game.
Thomas will nail both free throws there for Burlington Township. Bladen up the floor now, 6:45 to play in the ball game. Underneath, here's Painter coming up, lays it up, got it to go. And you see Timber Creek now, the defense backing off just a little bit.
Still pressing, though. That puts Painter in double digits, by the way. Big fella now with 10 in the game to go along with 8 rebounds. Solid game from him.
Dotson up the floor in the corner for number 20. We don't have a name for him, and he misses that three-pointer. And the rebound there by Roberts for Timber Creek. Roberts to Green, wide open, coming on in. One-handed slam for Austin Green. Bring down the house with that one. The exclamation point on this game, 74-47. Timber Creek on top with 6 minutes to play here in the ball game.
An emphatic way for Green to hit double digits as well, as he now has 10 points.
Tigbo, the floater, no good. Loose ball on the floor, picked up by Painter. And Berg comes back the other way. Moving quickly. Here's Bladen. Could not get it up, and almost a putback slam there. No good. Loose ball, and it is picked up by Burlington Township back the other way. Tigbo coming on in underneath. Dotson converts, 74-49. Bladen's left wide open. Here he comes. One-handed slam for him. Justin Bladen. 21 points for him now with 5.5 to play in the ball game. You may be down by 30, you may be down by 10, you may be down by $1 billion, Mike, but you never leave Justin Bladen that wide open in this ball game.
Yeah, you look up at the clock. I can't believe there's 5.5 to go. This has the look and the feel of a game that's like under a minute left and just kind of playing out the string. But both teams, we got basically a whole fourth quarter to get through now, and I think that's why the timeout was called by Burlington Township and saying, hey, look, we got to play this out. Let's show some pride here, and this is a game we were very much in for at least a half of this basketball contest, but now it's gotten away from us, but we're not going to give up. We're going to play it out. The gym's starting to fill up too, and there's some pride on the line, right? It's almost a full house here. A lot of them getting set to watch the Patrick School versus St. Augustine, but they're getting a show right now from Timber Creek, and if you're Burlington Township, you want to show some of these people that, hey, we're maybe a little better than this final score would indicate. Let's play this thing out.
Would you please find seats? We have to find seats. We need again.
Well, new players checked in for Burlington Township, a new number 30. And again, Mike, we only say that just because Josiah Scott is number 30. And that looks like a completely different uniform for Burlington Township. Here's Thomas back the other way, and he cannot convert. Contact on the way up, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Burlington Township just cannot catch a break at all.
Two number 30s, huh? It's bold strategy.
This is not college football. Still splitting the double team. He gets upended. Loose ball. Scramble for it, and Thompson will fall on it, but we need a jump ball.
Jump ball. Jump ball. Hit for Timber Creek is Colby Miller. Dana Garner. Tar Heat still. Nate Vaughn.
I think even the scorebook keepers on across the way, Mike, are trying to figure out what is going on in this ball game as well.
Yeah, this is it's an adventure. Bookkeeping.
We'll have fun with it. Here's Thomas, right wing now for Burlington Township, driving into the paint, steps back, puts one up, and cannot get it to go. More contact on the way up. And Thomas is going to go to the line.
Needless to say, the St. Augustine Patrick School game will not be starting at 6 o'clock, but should be getting rolling about 11-12 minutes after the conclusion of this one.
Thomas misses the first one. That's going to be a good game. The Patrick School just played in Minnesota on Friday night against Sierra Canyon High School. Of course, on that team is LeBron James Jr., known as Bronny James. The Patrick School on ESPNU the other night. Long way to travel for a second game in 3 days.
Yeah, the only, I guess, bummer, if you will, for a local hoops fan is that Jonathan Kuminga hurt his ankle in that game and reportedly not going to play tonight. He's the consensus #1 player in the junior class, not even yet a senior, but tremendous college prospect. And we expect him to be in the house, but probably not taking the floor tonight. But even without him,
big loss, but still, yeah,
you're talking about a Patrick School team that has 3 or 4 other legitimate Division I prospects.
Kuminga himself worth the price of admission for the Patrick School. Here's a Teague-Bow to go over the line to shoot some free throws after the contact. That one's on the way, and it is no good. And now we're going to get a violation on Burlington Township, just entering the lane a little bit early, and that's the unknown number 30. Definitely on the deeper part of the bench.
Get a fan not too far from us yelling, "Stop blowing the whistles," which is really what everyone is thinking, but you can't fault the officials. I mean, they have to officiate the game.
You can't not blow the whistle when there's sloppy play.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing you keep going back to. This just looks like, the last minute of a lopsided varsity game, but, I don't think some players on the floor have realized that there's really so much time left. I mean, we have to play this thing out. We can't end this game early. This isn't a video game. We're not turning it off and starting it over. So
there's no 21 rule.
Right, we gotta play this out here.
Nate Vaughn to the line for the free throw. She'll make the first 1-1 for Timber Creek.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's a friendly reminder for those who aren't coming in. We really need to get that baseline cleared at 5 seats at this time. There are plenty of seats.
Nate Vaughn for his second. It's 79-52. Second one on the way, and it's in and out. Rebound there by Dotson. Ike Teague-Bow. Left wing, driving himself, trying to do everything himself, and he could not get it to go. Thomas tried to clean it up. Loose ball, picked up by Vaughn, stolen away by Poole. Poole Dotson driving, lays it up, and got a friendly roll. 79-54, under 4.5 to play now. Here's Still driving, lays it in for an easy 2, 81-54. So back and forth we go. Here's Poole now. Poole looking behind him. He'll drive baseline, kicks it back out. Our unknown man for the 3, and it is no good. Still the rebound. Thompson driving. Wild layup is no good. Do have contact, we have a foul. And Dotson will be called for the foul there.
I guess the leader in the clubhouse at this point for that top crop player of the game would have to be Justin Bladen. 21 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 3 rebounds, a couple assists in the contest as well. But we talked about it earlier, you know, a relatively balanced performance from Timber Creek. You had Eric Benjamin step up. He has 15 points right now, and a couple guys we're talking about probably expected not to get back into the game here, so you can almost put a cap on their performance. Painter with 10 points, 9 boards, so close to a double-double, and then Austin Green with 10 points as well, not to mention Ahmad Roberts. So 5 players in double figures tonight for the Chargers of Timber Creek.
Bladen really sparked it. Thompson swatting that ball down, gets the steal. Thompson over to Still, stolen out of the air by Thomas, denying the crowd at least of a get out of your seat moment. Ike Tebow to the hoop, and he is ripped. It's ripped down by Nate Vaughn. Here's Still the other way, and Still will lay it in for the easy 2, and to the crowd's dismay, they wanted a dunk there. 3.5 to go, 83-54. Thomas now baseline driving. Ike Tebow putting one up, and we're going to get a whistle on the shot.
Yeah, I don't think I have any doubt that Still can throw it down. I just think he couldn't time his steps and just, chose the easier layup there. Probably for the best. I mean, if you're unsure, really no reason to put yourself out there and, risk an injury.
Just put it in for 2.
Right.
That foul was called on Township's, on Timber Creek's Austin Green, number 20. That's his 5th personal. Team remains over.
Got some subs about to come in for Burlington Township. Christian Ray and Jalen Jackson waiting to come in. And our unknown number 22 for Timber Creek. Ike Tebow from the line. 3:24 to play, 83-54. And after a small delay, he'll be shooting 2. First one's no good. For you NFL and Eagle fans watching our broadcast right now, currently Eagles and Seahawks tied at 3. About a minute and a half to go in the first half. Final wild card playoff game for the NFL this weekend. As Ike Tebow nails the second free throw, we got whistles, and here come the subs. For you Eagle fans like myself, very disappointed that one Carson Wentz is getting evaluated for a head injury.
This is like deja vu for you and I, Nick. We were in these same seats this same day last year as we witnessed the double doink while calling a high school basketball game. Here we go again.
Here's Still drive to the hoop, can't get it. Vaughn, the rebound, he gets it to go. 85-55, a 30-point lead for Timber Creek.
I guess the only drama left is, can the Chargers get to 100?
Quite possible. Here's Poole driving. Wild layup way off the mark, and a rebound here by Still. Still to our unmanned 22. He puts it up, and he's got it to go. 87-55. You mentioned deja vu, Mike. We were watching that game. We had a little tablet right in front of us, but the crowd kind of spoiled it for us in the corner.
That's right.
We were scrambling to figure out what happened because good old the internet in here can be a little spotty for some people.
Yeah, we were working with a slight delay, but all's well that ends well.
It's a great story to tell.
It's funny too. I mean, you schedule this tournament and you set the times and you have to do it way in advance, and you anticipate that the Eagles will be in the playoffs, but you don't know what time. And really, last night you had Elizabeth and Wildwood Catholic, which could be considered the marquee event, and certainly, Holy Spirit Pleasantville. But that St. Patrick's School, St. Augustine game, it has to be considered, one of the top 2 or 3 games of the tournament, and you put that right in that slot. It's just kind of the way it works out. But I guess in a roundabout way, I'm making the point that this gym is still packed, right? So there's still enough people that know the Eagles game is going on, but they still want to see one of the best teams not only in the country, in the state, but also the country, in the Patrick School, take on, you know, one of the local powerhouses in St. Augustine.
Some backups in. This is Nick Natazzi coming on in, lays it up, and could not get it as he draws the contact. And Timber Creek's bench having a lot of fun. Rich Bolds is very pleased about his team's performance tonight with a 31-point lead with 2:20 to go.
And the jacket made its way back on, and that was a while ago, too. Came off, went back on.
I think he's cooled down a little bit. That ball's loose, stolen away. We got some unnamed players based on our books and rosters, as the deep benches are out now for Timber Creek. Vigil's going to inbound this one. He just checked into the game. Here is Natazzi. 2 minutes to play. Natazzi's going to hand it off. One of our unnamed players here in this game. Natazzi again. Bench is empty for both squads. Natazzi driving, kicks it over. Vigil, no good. 22 puts it up. 89 to 56. Poole, cross-court pass into the seats. Look out. I hope somebody was paying attention. Looked like a hand got up, so I think we're okay. .25 is going to bring it up for Timber Creek. Trying to cross over Poole into the paint, driving. Wild layup, no good. And here's the putback. Nice job, nicely done, excuse me, by Gardner for his first bucket of the game. 91-56. Still a chance for the century mark. Long range three there for Jackson off the mark. Rebound here by the Chargers. Quick drive by 25, puts it up, no good. Rebound there by Vigil. Vigil baseline floats it, and he got it to go. And the Young Buck scores. 93-56.
It's great to see the enthusiasm from some of the regular players on the Timber Creek bench right now, getting excited for some of these guys that don't get to see a lot of minutes but work just as hard in practice.
In the corner, 30 for three, and he got it. 93-59.
Hope he took the over on this one.
Or the Timber Creek line. And there's 25. We're going to have some fun here with the deep bench guys here. Trying to cross up Jackson. The handoff. Here's Natazzi driving into the paint. Wild layup. Rebounded there by 20.
Whistles very much swallowed at this point, which is the way it should be.
Eerily silent now. Here's Poole driving, and now we're going to get a whistle. As soon as you say something, Mike, the broadcaster's jinx.
And you hear the groans from the crowd, but you have to. I mean, when there's that much contact, you have to call it. It's up to the players, really, to kind of know the difference and say, hey, you know, if you want this layup at this point, go ahead and take it.
Number 30, Dana Connor. His second personal. Team remains over the limit.
10-3.
It'll be Poole shooting two. Got it. There's one. 93-60.
Eagles -1.
Second one on the way, no good. It's out, and we're going to let the clock finally wind out here. This one has come to an end. Your final score here at the SEAGULL Classic: Timber Creek 93, Burlington Township 60. A game that the Chargers absolutely ran away with. They were in a 16-5 hole in that first quarter, but Mike, they concluded the night by taking over, and they remain undefeated on the season.
No doubt, Nick. Justin Bladen being named the top crop player of the game. Goes for a game high 21 points.